You've landed inside the bubble with Harli G, a podcast for the superwoman. I am a mother, wife, and ambitious career woman who realized one day that part of me was unfulfilled. I launched this platform to help other women discover and walk in their ultimate purpose through shared stories of trials, fear, dreams, courage, grief, and triumph. No matter who you are or where you're from, there's purpose in your story. This episode is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. When was the last time you reviewed your insurance policy? So it's been a while, huh? Well, no worries. My friends at the Austin Brummett Agency would love to hear from you and provide you with some amazing rates. Give them a call at 678-402-8262 or email them at abrummett@farmersagent.com. Insiders, Inside the Bubble with Harli G is now sponsored by BetterHelp. As a partner of this episode, listeners can access the BetterHelp link located in the show notes to receive 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp and get matched with a therapist who will listen and help. Go to BetterHelp, that is betterhelp.com/inside-the-bubble, the link to get started. Thinking about buying a car but dreading the process? Enter Car Official, where we're changing the game. At Car Official, we believe car buying should be transparent, informative, and yes, even enjoyable. Our experts are here to guide you, provide you clear information and honest advice. No jargon, no pressure, just a helping hand every step of the way. Whether it's understanding financing options, getting clarity on fees, or simply finding the perfect car for your needs, we've got you covered. Join the Car Official family and experience a new era of car buying, where trust, knowledge, and customer care drive everything we do. Car Official Auto Sales, empowering your journey one car at a time. Visit us today and see the difference for yourself at 770-627-4296 or on our website at www.carofficial.net. Welcome. I am Harli G, host of Inside the Bubble with Harli G, a podcast for the superwoman. Thank you for tuning in. The purpose of the Purpose in Entrepreneur series is to inspire women who have a burning desire to do their own thing, but don't know where to start. Women who are fully committed to their 9-to-5, but can't seem to find time to pursue their purpose outside of work. Women who struggle with trying to balance life's demands, spouse, partner, children, extended family, friends, community, involvement, etc., while running a business and are experiencing the feeling of guilt because of not committing an equal amount of time to all of it. Well, today I have two amazing guests, Miss Shani Hamilton and Miss Aquanetta Lane, joining me to share how they are defining their purpose in their chosen line of business. So welcome, ladies, to the pod. So amazing to have you both. Today we have a little bit of a tag team duo situation going on over here. You both, yes, and both of you ladies, coincidentally enough, sing amazingly. I should make them sing on the pod. I should put them on the spot. And make them sing. Pass the mic. But you all have an amazing creative brain. And in Aquanetta's situation, I'm putting her on the spot. She has kind of like this weird brain to where she is very creative on one side, but very analytical on the other, right? So I'm not gonna take the limelight away from you ladies. I want you guys to talk about you and what you do. So please, Shani first, tell us about your business, what you offer, and who you serve.
Yes. Well, first, thank you for having me.
You're
I'm
welcome.
super excited.
Yes.
But my business is Grace and Black. actually wearing it.
Wow, beautiful, 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 beautiful. I love it.
Yes, so Grace in Black is a women's online boutique. So cater to women's clothing. Eventually, I want to roll out into do men and family.
Oh, wow.
Stay tuned.
Okay, love it. See, we already know what's coming next. All right, all right.
Yeah, you get the insider.
Yes, insider.
But yes, a women's online boutique. I've been in business. I launched in 2020.
Yes, you did.
So the height of everything.
Yes.
So I know we have a lot that we're going to unfold
Yes, we're going to
today.
talk about that. Right, yes.
But yes. But that's what it is. Online's Women Boutique.
Perfect.
Yes.
Love it. Absolutely. Miss Aquanetta.
Sure. So, of course, my name is Aquanetta. Harli, thank you for having me. I'm really, really excited. It's always a pleasure to be on Inside the Bubble.
She's been
with
like
Harli
inside
G.
the bubble like 10,000 times.
No, it's an honor. It's a pleasure, to be back. I appreciate it. So, of course, my name is Aquanetta, and I actually own an online cake company, which is called Cake Attraction. And, of course, I serve customers from the everyday person who wants cupcakes, cakes for their birthday parties for their children. And I also serve corporate America as well. So I offer cakes, cupcakes, candy apples, custom treat jars, all kinds of things. So that's some of the things that I do. And I also, my other business is I own BOD Entertainment. So I do sing and I travel to do that.
All right. My next question is for both of you ladies is, what made you pursue entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so for me, I feel like I've always had an entrepreneur spirit.
Okay.
And really, I think it stems from my family, my mom and my grandmother. My grandmother, back from where I'm from Alabama. Alabama in the house. She was the first Black woman in our area to have a beauty salon. So it's just where I come from, and I'm grateful for that. But yes, the entrepreneur spirit always started with me. Of course, I'm grateful for my full-time job that I have, but it pays the bills most definitely.
Listen.
But I've always dreamed of things outside of what people would think the norm would be. Like you go to school, you do things according to society standards. I've always had a mindset that was far much greater than that. So it really started at a young age for me. I wouldn't say that I was like best dressed in school. I mean, I looked nice, but I didn't get the award for best dressed.
I didn't get it either. Yeah.
Shani's gonna do something with fashion. None of that. I actually had a teacher once say a sewing class, home economics. I don't know if the kids still do that these days.
I know they don't. I'm like, what? What are you gonna do with your life?
Right.
Yeah.
But my teacher at the time, I'd sewn some shorts and I messed up like the seaming. And she was like, "Oh, you never do anything like that." Well, I guess she was right. I'm not sewing, but I have a fashion business.
I sell shorts now. But I always find that if you have conversations with people when you talk about their purpose, there was always this one moment where someone or something determined that you were not going to be able to do it, and obviously that was not God's plan.
Yes,
so here you are today.
Yes.
So yes. Anyway, yes, Aquanetta.
So for me, I didn't always want to go the entrepreneurial route. I remember I was in, 6th grade, and my pastor at the time, he kind of came and he was talking to me about how he saw this vision for my life. I was going to own a plane and all this stuff. And I'm like,
wait, you're going to own a plane?
Yeah. And so
where did that come from?
So I'm over here like,
not a car, like a plane.
Right. And he talked to me about like business and how God had given me all these creative ideas. And I'm looking at him like, bro, you crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Because honestly, at the time, I'm in 6th grade. I'm not thinking I'm going to school to be a doctor. That's what I'm going to do. I even, when I went to college, I kind of worked for an oncologist. I decided I was going to be a general surgeon, focusing on oncology. And then I did not go that route. So I graduated college, got the stuff to take my MCAT, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. So I started working in healthcare, and 1 year I said, I'm just going to bake some cakes for Thanksgiving. I need some extra money. I got a little bit of student loans I need to pay, so let me just try this. And I ended up selling like 58 cakes, like first time. And that's kind of where the entrepreneurial journey started for me. I also wrote songs. I would just be like, oh, I'm just gonna write this for church. It's no big deal. But then I had producers who were like, hey, these songs are really, really good. And that's kind of where it started for me. So my young adult age, around like 21, 22, that's when it all came full circle. And I realized, okay, when I was in 6th grade, my pastor told me then, but I didn't really see the creativity in myself until I got older.
And so, Shani, what did you Aquanetta just spoke about what she wanted to be when she grew up. What did you want to be when you grew up?
You know, a singer.
Okay. So you're kind of doing that,
yes,
right?
At least that was the thing that was in my heart. Sometimes a lot of things that's in our heart, we have trouble saying it out loud to other people.
That right there. Why? Why is that?
I don't know. I'm still uncovering that.
Okay.
But I think because the things in our heart is so sensitive, we want to guard it. We're like, how would people view us? Sometimes it's outside of the norm. So it's like, but I always had this creative spirit. So along with being an entrepreneur, I've always loved music too. And Grace and Black has some undertones of like music. It inspires a lot of my pieces that I have. I named them after, people I'm inspired by in the music industry and things like that. May switch it up a little bit, but go to the site and you'll see.
You should check it out. Okay. Yes.
But yeah, so it all started there for me. So I feel like music and fashion, because if I could visualize myself from a music standpoint, like how I would look at the music videos on the stage and things like that. So then that kind of like spilled over into fashion, like, okay, I want this image, or this is how I want to feel. So it all went hand in hand, but it took so long to get to this place that I'm at right now.
Okay.
Like so long to uncover that
Yes.
and walk in my truth and be authentic about it. So, yeah.
So along with that, walking in your truth, being in your, walking in your purpose, I speak a lot on the pod about community, and support system. And how, because you talked about protecting your purpose, right? How were you able to trust or know who to trust about, when it comes to your purpose, because you can't talk to everybody about your purpose because everybody doesn't want what's best for you. And you come to find out the hard way. For me, I don't want to put words in your mouth. But you come to find out people's true colors sometimes when it comes to purpose, and you're like, oh, or when they don't show up for you like they said they would. How were you able to determine who to bring in on your purpose?
I think it's like trial and error. A lot of trial and error.
Listen, I understand.
But as I got older, I'm a woman of faith, so I practice discernment.
Yes.
I ask for that guidance. I ask for that peace. I ask for that, God, for that direction of like, okay, who can I trust this vision with? And a lot of times it's my sister. For me, a lot of times it's my sister and people really in my immediate circle as far as family. And I'm like, okay, you're
right there.
Me.
Yeah, you're right. All right. And for you?
For me, also, I'm a big faith person. So it was consistently like praying and talking to God. But for me, God was specifically giving me instructions on who I could trust. But if I'm honest, I questioned like God because sometimes it wasn't the people who I thought I should go to, meaning one of the people who I can talk to about anything is my dad. My dad is a pastor. I grew up at PK, but my dad is also very calculated. So sometimes, giving him a vision of something that's so big, it can be like, that's cool, but I need you to go. It's like we talked about you going to med school, and it's like, that's probably the direction you want to go. So for me, it was challenging. Like when I knew, it's not that I couldn't trust my dad, but I couldn't trust him with certain aspects of my life. And sometimes you have to realize, like, you have to kind of categorize who you can communicate certain areas of your life with. And so that's some of the things that I started to do. And so one of the people that really understood my vision was my best friend. So I would always talk to her and my sister as well, like about my vision, what I really wanted to do. I'm like, I know this probably seems a little crazy. And she was very, very inspirational. And she's also, she's a very prophetic person. So what I'm going through, I may not say, but she always says it. And I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. So that's kind of how I started navigating how to learn who to trust. And then honestly, when I made mistakes and gave my vision to people who didn't quite get it, I learned from it.
You learn from that.
I learned from it, and I'm like, okay, God, now I'm not gonna question you no more. I get it. I get it. I hear you. I got you.
So As you think about entrepreneurship, Shani, you said you started during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Which I feel like was almost kind of like a global movement in entrepreneurship, right? I mean, like, I feel like half of us are here because of COVID. Thanks, COVID, half of us are there because of that. So what was it like for you to get started? You mentioned your aunt that's in Alabama. How did her journey inspire you and motivate you as you started thinking about starting your own journey of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I had so many examples of being resilient. So I was able to, okay, no matter what comes my way, I'm gonna stand tall and trust the process. But right.
I hate that sentence.
I
do. I realize how important it is, but I hate it.
Because it's hard. It's hard. It's not
It is.
It really is. But you do have to trust it. You have to trust it because we all have a plan for our lives, and the plan is to prosper us and not harm us. And so I have to, rehearse that, replay that in my mind often. But going back to the height of like 2020, actually I was planning to launch my business. I was working on the campaign and everything in 2019.
Oh, okay.
And then the spring of 2020, I was gonna roll out the campaign. And then we know March of 2020, everything was like, stop, no, you're not doing anything. What are you doing? So I started to retreat back. I was like, okay, I wanted to do a casting call and have people be models because I did not want to be the face of the brand. I just wanted to be in the background. Reserved Shani, that's typically who I am. I wanted to be in the background. That did not happen. And so I was sitting on inventory. I was just sitting on all these ideas and things I had, and it was getting close to, it was like September, and I was like, you know what? I see all of these businesses are thriving, like you said earlier, like it's like the birth of entrepreneurship. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out here and I'm gonna do it. So I'm just gonna put on the clothes, get a photographer, model, all the things. But I still ran into many challenges because when you're doing something new, sometimes you don't realize like what you're capable of. And I believe in if someone has a gift of doing something, then I want them to operate in their gift. So I was actually working with an agency to kind of build my website, all of these things. And fast forward, because it's a long story, but to fast forward, they kind of just didn't deliver on the assignment.
I got an agency.
Right. They didn't deliver on the assignment. So I was left trying to figure it out. So at that time, I learned how to build a website, take all these pictures, do all of these things, which in actuality, I knew that I was capable of doing it. So to me, I was like,
pushed,
I had to be pushed.
Yes.
I had to stretch myself and be like, you know what, I can create this content. I can run social media. I can do all of these things. Now it's taxing.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. If you can get the help, get the help.
Right, that part.
There's a lesson here. Right.
But it just taught me so much in that season, like what I could do, especially at a time where it was like everyone's hands were tied. Like you can't go outside, you can't do anything.
Right.
It really stretched me. So at this point, I run into obstacles, but I'm like, man, if I could survive 2020 and the pandemic.
Right.
Listen, we can do it. We can do it.
What are we doing?
Exactly. So Aquanetta, you talked about, you wanting the extra, like your vision, your purpose started out one way, but I feel like by knowing you and knowing what I know of you, that has evolved, right? So how has that evolved? Because it started out with you trying to make money for your student loans, and it's way much more than that now, okay?
Yes, so I will say I've always known that I wanted to serve people. So I could do that through being a physician. I'm like, that's one way to be able to serve people. And once I started doing cakes and all of that stuff, I was like, I'm still serving people, but I felt like I didn't really get to necessarily make impact because, you're just providing a product for a person. You kind of go deliver, they come pick it up, that kind of thing. But it actually has evolved because I started partnering with an organization called Girl Let It Out. And we just did an event, and back in July, it was called Cupcakes and Conversations. So I actually took cupcakes, and I put messages on the cupcakes. Some of them were questions, some of them were like inspirational thoughts, and it's like a whole event that we're launching, and it's going to be like city to city. Some more stuff coming, so y'all stay tuned. But it's like it evolved from just being able to make cupcakes and all of that to actually being able to inspire women. And so like that's one of my big things. I've always wanted to be an inspiration, but we don't want to just inspire women. We do want to inspire men as well. So we're going to have a men's event for that as well too. But it kind of evolved from just doing cupcakes and cakes to actually being able to service women and make an impact and be a positive influence in their life, which actually aligns with the bigger picture for what I want to do with Cake Attraction.
Yes.
Okay, because you're about to tell us. You're not about to keep nothing, okay? No, we're going to hear it here. Can you ladies tell the listeners about a time that was very challenging for you in this entrepreneur journey? There's many, right? Like there's my previous guest said every day she wants to quit. Okay, like every day you wake up and you're like, I quit today.
Yes.
You know, but what? Tell me a time where you went through a challenging situation, but besides all of that, you're like, you know what? This like you said, it's bigger than you. This is about serving others with the God-given gift that God has given you, right? And so, what kept you going?
Well, I'll kind of start. The challenging event, it started for me when I actually first launched Cake Attraction. So that specific year, I had 8 deaths happen in my family. And it wasn't like, oh, my cousin that was like my 17th cousin. It was my aunt passed away from cancer. So I assisted with being her primary caregiver. So we were driving back and forth to Atlanta. Right after that, my cousin got killed, my first cousin. He got killed in a motorcycle accident. Then after that, we got a call. I'm at work, and then one of my cousins had out of the blue, a random massive heart attack, completely healthy. It was fine. My grandmother died the same year. It was the day before my birthday, and it was just back to back to back. So I'm like, yeah, this cake stuff, we can't do this. Then I'm just like, it became overwhelming, and it didn't stop. And if I'm completely honest, it's like I've had losses. I just had 2 aunts pass this year. So it's just been, for me, it was just like, wait, I learned how to pivot and make situations that seem very, very devastating, that was traumatizing. I learned how to navigate those seasons and actually find the good in all of it, even though it was hard. And one of the things that I used to suffer from was I was always like this perfectionist. Everything had to go right. Stuff has to be in order. And I'm not going to lie and say that I'm completely over that, because that is not the truth.
I'm your friend.
I'm not going to lie on Inside the Bubble and say, because I am, it's like stuff got to be right, while I'm creative and all of that, I'm calculated. But for me, I started learning how influential like I was, and I didn't realize it. Like how people were really looking at me, how I was able to navigate all of the storms and still survive. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like a lot of people need to hear me talk a little bit more, because I can revert to my shell. I'm comfortable there. I can encourage you behind closed doors. But if I'm honest, doing stuff like this, I'm like, you cut the cameras. We good. Just let me sit in the back. But honestly, all of that actually helped me become confident and knowing like, I can do this, and for where I want to go, I had to become comfortable like talking about my story. And I feel like that's why everything in my life happened. So I can become comfortable talking about the uncomfortable, but being influential doing it. Yeah.
That's powerful. Powerful. And I get it. I am much like, I'm calculated. Yeah. I'm a perfectionist. And that really, I was able to really zone in like, okay, this is an opportunity for me. I need to stop thinking I have to have everything so perfect before I do it, because it was actually stifling me. Yeah. It was keeping me from moving forward. Right. So still working on that, but I'm acknowledging
I get it.
I've made the step,
First
you guys.
First step is knowing the issue. Yes.
But I will say that one of the challenging things for me is just starting, because when you're starting, like I didn't have seed money. I didn't have someone like, okay, I'm going to give you this to pour into a business. Like it was me taking from my own. And I'm thankful for my job.
Right.
Increase. So it was taxing financially, and we know that financially, if something is taxing, then that's playing with your mind.
That's half of the mindset. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, can I really do this? Maybe I shouldn't do this. You know, maybe I should really save my coins. You know, we talk about saving, but it was just trying to find a balance of it all, a balance of building this business, but knowing that, okay, it's going to take seed money, it's going to take, you know, resources to be able to build this business, to get inventory. I mean, you can do things like pre-orders and things like that, but it still takes quite a bit. So that was the most challenging part for me. But once I could change my mindset, because I'm so big on like mindset and renewing my mind, I had to get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna think abundance. I'm gonna think abundance, and I'm gonna operate in that space. And when I made that transition of like, okay, it starts in the mind, and knowing like whatever I want, I have access to get that. I have everything it is I need. And I tell people I brag differently, because some people brag on the resources. I brag on the source. I'm like, I brag differently, you know? I brag on the source. So it was just a mindset change. And that brought a level of peace to me in my entrepreneurship journey. Still need to level up the coins. But you know, the mindset has shifted.
One of the things, you know, this podcast is geared towards the superwoman, right? And whether you are a mother, a sister, a daughter, a colleague, a confidant, those are all roles of the superwoman, right? So what does a day in the life of Shani and Aquanetta look like as the superwoman?
Ooh,
She's like, I know. It varies day by day, Harli.
Right. Let's see. Let's start with a messy bun.
I'm there for it. I am there for it. Yes.
You know, running around the house looking at my to-do list. Like, okay.
Yes.
A day in the life is looking at my to-do list, but also realizing like, okay, I'm not going to get everything accomplished on this to-do list today. So it's okay with tabling it. Like, my business is Grace and Black, and I love that name because
Grace.
I have to extend, it tells me I have to extend grace to myself each and every day, because as much as I like to, you know, we are superwomen, we show up, right? And we do it well, but sometimes that cake gets a little heavy.
A lot of heavy.
Ma'am.
It gets real heavy. So a day in the life is not this perfect, Shania is knocking it out the park. A day in the life for me is, okay, what can I do today? What can wait? And really setting some boundaries. I have learned now, like my yes, I can say yes to certain things, but I can also say no to certain things. So my days may be like, yes, brother, I could do that. No, sister, I can't do that.
Yes, now, and then I change my mind. It is what it is. Yeah.
Right. And it's also a lot of my days, I start my day off with renewing my mind. Y'all heard me say that a lot throughout this whole segment, but it really starts. Like, I have to kick off my day with the renewing of my mind. Because if I don't, that's going to spill over into the rest of my day. And I won't be the superwoman that I want to be and need to be for others.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm getting there.
So, what does the day look like for me? It's here, there, everywhere, like mentally, physically, all of that stuff. So, how I kind of like start my day, I always get up early. I'm going to read my Bible. I'm going to pray. And then I'm gonna fall back asleep. And then, I'm also like working on my health. So it could be going to the gym, make sure I'm there at 6 o'clock in the morning. So then it's like working my 9 to 5. Then after that, it's going through invoices, looking at what I got to do for the weekend, looking at, oh, I got a meeting with the person who's about to redo my website. Oh, now I got to go because now my cousin needs me. It's like, it's all over the place. It's never like a set schedule. So it's like looking at this. I have a huge wall calendar in my office. Then I have a calendar.
A whole
I do.
wall.
And it's color coded.
Some people have a planner. Some people have a desk planner.
You have a wall.
No, but Aquanetta's extra.
I
So
am.
she's gonna have a whole wall.
I have a whole wall. I do. So it's like color coded. My sister and I, we live together. She has a business. I have a business. So it's like there's like purple for cake attraction. Then there's like black for stuff that we got to do together. Then there's orange for my job activities. And then so it's a whole situation. So it's going and looking at that calendar. And then there's also, if I'm honest, there's missing stuff because my first time for somebody, I cried like a baby. Like I believe in, if I say I'm gonna show up, I'm going to show up. I completely forgot about the event. And I was so tired. I came home from church that day, went to sleep, and I woke up. It was like 9 o'clock. I was like, what was I supposed to do today? My sister was like, did we just miss this event? And I said, oh my God. So that's what my day looks like. Like, that's a day in the life. Like, I've learned, like, oh, you might have to start saying no a little more, because I'm not really good at the word no. I'm terrible at it. I try to be at everything, but it's all over the place. So there's no specific strategy for it, if I'm honest. It's a lot of things.
And so I love that you brought, grace in Black. How do you extend grace to yourself? Because it's easier said than done.
It is. It takes so much practice. I haven't mastered it. I haven't. But I think you'll get knocked down to the point where you're like, okay, I have to rest, or I just can't show up, or I can't, as much as we want to be available to certain people, like your body will tell you, certain things will just happen around you to a point where it's like, okay, yeah, you need to be still. And so I think that's another thing that I have made a conscious effort in doing, is being still. Because society will also paint this picture like we have to, this hustle bustle.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't want to be a hustle.
Yeah.
I don't want to hustle bustle.
I don't want to be the hustle. No.
I want sleep. I want rest. I want a nap. I want to have peace of mind. And I'm realizing that peace is the prize. And I have an affirmation on my wall. So you have a wall calendar. I have like a whole wall of neon sticky notes that just affirmations. And one says, like, I am whole. Because as much as I want to be successful in all of these things, I desire wholeness. I want to be whole.
Yeah.
I don't want just one part.
Yeah.
I want whole.
I echo those sentiments, because the last few months, my best friend and I have been saying, you can have duality. And society has painted the picture that it's all about the hustle, but I'm like, you can have money and you can have great experiences. It doesn't always have to look like running in the hustle and bustle of owning 2, 3, 4, 5 businesses. Honestly, I can have 2 that are really, really impactful. I get to set the stage and the strategy for what I'm going to do for those businesses. And honestly, do I always need 2 billion? I can settle at 500 million. And it's like, we always have this, I got to get more, got to get more. And it's like, no, but what I'm starting to realize, there are a lot of people that I've come in contact with that I know, they're not happy. And so it's like, why am I going to waste my life just running, and I'm not happy and I don't have peace? So it's like, you know what, I can have duality. So that's something that I try to live by. Still working on it. I'm not gonna lie, like, still trying to learn how to give myself grace. But that is the thing for myself. I'm like, no, I can have them both, and I can be peaceful in both situations, and it doesn't have to look ugly all the time.
Right.
So Aquanetta, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
I hate being put on the spot.
There's a whole spotlight situation going on right now. Okay,
Let's do it. Let's get
because one of the things that Shani mentioned in one of my previous guests was rest, because he will knock you down when he tells you need to rest and you don't. You go to bed at whatever hour. Okay. How do you make sure that you have the rest that you need so that you're able to show up for yourself and others?
I'm a transparent person. I don't know how. Like, honestly, I still struggle. Sometimes it's 3 a.m. and then it's back up at 5 a.m. Sometimes I will go to bed early, but it's usually during the times where my body has completely shut down and it's like, I can't give anymore. So even though I don't go to sleep a lot, because I'll be honest, like I kind of, one of my characteristics, I look at Michael Jackson and how he had struggles like sleeping, because he was always thinking about like the next way to be creative. I struggle with the same thing. And so I'm big on, like, I do believe you have to do things. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking medicine if that's what you need to do. But something that I have started to do, even though I may not go to sleep, I'll actually just watch something that I like. I'd be like, I'm a hopeless romantic. And so it's like, I'm gonna always watch a romance movie and it actually calms me down. Okay. So that's something that I do. Like, it's rest for me because it helps my mind not go. Got it. I can actually just focus on like somebody falling in love and I'm like, bro, that's gonna be my life one day. Like, it's coming real soon, but that's what I do right now, because I haven't mastered being able to ensure that I'm in the bed at 11 o'clock. Because even if I am, I turn on the rain noise, white noise, and I still don't go to sleep. But I've learned that watching romance movies, it kind of helps me relax a little bit. So I'm still working on that.
Okay. All right. You know, just gotta give you a little spotlight. Ladies, tell me about 2 of your core values that you apply to your entrepreneurship and it's a non-negotiable.
Faith. It's what I stand on. I mean, it's what gets me from day to day. It's the drive behind what I do. If I don't have faith, I'm nothing. You know, like I'm nothing. I have to come from that place, because there will always be the unknown. Always be the unknown. But if I practice my faith and the renewing of my mind, which I say all the time, that's what's going to keep me going from the next day and help me to have that mindset, like I said earlier, of abundance, like not worrying. Like worry is a stress. We talk about rest, but worry is a stress, and stress will take you out this world. And I want longevity. Right.
You're like,
I want longevity.
I'm ready to go.
That part.
You know?
That part.
So that is the biggest thing for me, faith. That's the number one.
That was going to be one of mine. So my second word for me is going to be integrity. That is huge for me, because I have seen how people will step over each other to make it. They care more about themselves making it than they do about other people. And I'm the type of person, while I'm going to make sure that I look out for myself, I'm going to make sure that I'm integral and I do the best thing for other people, because I truly and strongly believe what I do for others, it will come to me. Yes. I don't have to fight anybody else, walk over them to get through the door. And if I'm honest, I've been out of the country. I didn't ask for it. It came to me, but I supported other people to get there before me. And I'm big on, I'm not going to talk about you. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to come to you and say, hey. And Harli can attest to this. Like, it may not always feel good, but I'm going to keep it a buck. Like, that's just how I am. And I believe, like, I don't believe in the crab in the barrel mentality. I'm not going to fight in it, but we can all win together.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be integral in the process. I'm not going to try to throw dirt on other people. No, we're going to all win together. And if I see that this situation doesn't work out between our relationships, that's okay. I'm going to bow out gracefully, and I'm not going to dog your name. I'm going to be real quiet, and I'm going to always be integral. You can always count on me to be honest, to be truthful, and I'm going to look out for other people, because I know God is going to look out for me in the end. Yes. And I stand on that. And I don't do well when people do that to other people. I'm like, I'm good. I don't like those spaces, and I can stand on it, so I'm okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies, we are at a segment of the pod called the wild card question. So I have some cards here in my hand. Okay. You're going to pick a card. And you know what I said the last time is, you don't pick the card chooses you. So here we go.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
All right.
See, she's singing. There she go. Let's go with that.
Ooh, I'm nervous.
I know, right? Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
Miss Shani.
Let's go.
Are you ready for this?
Game show.
Okay. Okay. You just received news that you have 30 days to live.
Oh.
How would you spend this time?
30 days. I'm pouring out everything that has been deposited in me. Like whether that's love, meeting needs, inspiring people, I would just go really hard. I mean, I have 30 days.
She's like, oh,
30 days. Because at the, none of us know when our time is, but I always say I want to pour out what God has poured into me. Like, we all hear the saying, well done, my good and faithful servant. Like, I really want to hear that. I think living up to that is pouring out everything that He graced you with. He graced you with. So, yeah, that's what I want to do in my last 30 days, along with eating good.
So what would your last meal be? Just want to know real quick.
Yeah, I love barbecue. So something real soulful and barbecue.
Okay. Got it. All right.
Oh, Lord.
It's me.
Oh, no. Come on.
This is a good one. I said the card chooses the person, I tell you.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
Okay, let's
You
do
just
it.
received an anonymous check in the mail for $50,000. How would you use it to help further your mission?
So if I received a check for $50,000, the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm a faith person, tithes and offering. That's me. I believe in it heavily. Tithes and offering is coming off top. One of the things that I've always wanted to do is I want to be like the secret Santa of giving people, paying 100% for a person to start their business. That is always something that I've wanted to do. I don't want anybody to know who I am. I just want to do it. So I'm going to pick an organization. I'm probably going to pick someone who is, honestly, I'm going to pick someone that has something that's really, really creative and that hasn't been like done before. Like something that's super futuristic.
Almost kind of like Shark Tank, like.
Right. So I'm going to pick an organization, and honestly, I'm going to give, I'm probably going to give about 25% of that to that organization, and then I'm going to put the rest into a high yielding savings account so it can grow some interest so I can actually have more to give away. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
Yes.
One last question for you ladies. Okay. So, and you talked about it a little bit, but what is next for Grace and Black and Cupcake Attractions?
Yes.
Or cake, I said cupcakes.
It's okay.
You do cupcakes too. Okay.
Yeah. What's next for Grace and Black? So I want to get to a point where I'm customizing all of the clothes. So I want to get to a point where I'm designing more. So be on the lookout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what's next.
Okay.
So what is next for Cake Attraction? I am actually in the process of rebranding my website right now because there's going to be like an adjustment in products offered and services offered as well. In addition to that small change, what is next is, it is scary to say this because Harli knows this, but I am actually trying to work through transitioning out of my 9-to-5 so I can fully focus on Cake Attraction and building that with the partnership with Girl Let It Out to do events, because eventually there's going to be a bigger thing that's coming that will merge Cake Attraction with the music industry, and I'll have it all planned out, floor plans made, business plan is done. I know what I want to do, but it's just really being able to step out and say, you can do this. Like, you ready? And just do it. So that's what's next. Like,
But step out
transitioning
in that faith, because while we have a vision and we think our vision is so big, right? And we try to protect that vision, you know, but the thing is, that's the tip of the iceberg. Right. Like, you think your vision is big, but the vision that he has is even 100 times bigger than that, right? So it's really stepping out. I'm learning to step. It's my growth season. It's my stretch season. It's my challenge season. I've been taken behind the woodshed many times. But this is the season where he's like, I'm taking you somewhere, and you need to believe that where I'm taking you is beyond your imagination, right? And so to know that you're stepping out on faith. You're believing in that mission, and you're stepping out on it.
Yeah, and I just got to add to that, like, I love the inspirational talks, like, from people, but I am also real. I'm like, y'all, it hurt. Like, it's scary, it's ugly, it's painful, trusting that leaving my benefits that are paid for all the time, you know, my great bonus strategy, like, I ain't got to do nothing but wake up, show up, and go to work. I don't have to consistently develop this strategy for it, like, I get my check every 2 weeks and I'm good. But it's scary and it's ugly and it's not comfortable going in that direction. But just trusting and believing that, hey, during this ugly season, like, it's okay. Like, it's gonna be all worth it. Like,
and I'm gonna leave on this note. A wise man told me one time, and I'm gonna blooper some of the words, but that all the days amounts to the day. You'll be able to look back on the days and say,
Yeah.
that's what it was for.
Yeah.
So, on that note, ladies, I'm so thankful. Thank you so much for coming on the pod and sharing your stories of entrepreneurship. I know that, I know the both of you, I've known the both of you for a while. And so I'm really excited that you were able to honor me with your story today. So thank you so much. And we're looking forward to seeing what's coming next, because it's bigger than what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I hope you enjoyed our show today. Hit the subscribe button and share this pod episode with your family, friends, and girlfriends. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at InsideTheBubbleHG. Let's keep the conversation going. Drop us a heart emoji, engage with us. We would love to hear from you. Season 2 is now available on your podcast streaming platforms, and full episode videos are now available on YouTube. For access to our YouTube channel, please find the link below in the show notes. And remember what I always say, there's purpose in your story.